So in our discussion, we are looking at simultaneous equation. So we want to see how you can actually get to solve this simultaneous equation in our additional mathematics series there. So it says solve the following pair of simultaneous equations. So they have actually given us that. Now if you notice x plus y is equal to 5, this is simply the equation of a straight line, and xy is equal to x plus 3. This is forming part of a curve. So this one could be a curve. Yeah, it could be whatever curve that it is, but that's a curve, and this is for a straight that is for a straight line. So how do you solve in this case? So since they have actually given us x plus y is equal to 5, and they have also given us xy is equal to x plus 3, what we need to do is that we can get the equation of a straight line and try to make either x or y subject of the formula. Then we substitute it into this equation. Can I call this one as being equation 1? And let me call this one as being equation 2. So what I'm going to do is that I can make y the subject of the formula. So it will be y is equal to this x will go the other side, or you can do the additive inverse. So that will be 5 minus x. Let me say this is the third equation that I'm having. Then the next step, you can simply substitute equation 3 into equation 2. So that's what we can do, substituting this equation into that other equation. So I'll take that one, which is xy is equal to x plus 3. Then we are going to substitute where there's y, we'll replace with 5 minus x. So that's the way we are going to do it. So it is going to be x multiplied by y is 5 minus x is equal to x plus 3. So x times 5 will give us a 5x, x times negative x will give us negative x squared, which is equal to x plus 3. Then we can just try to collect the like terms. Can I take all the terms to the other side? Can I just take them to, I shift all this to the other side? This will become actually positive x squared. Then this will become minus 5x. Here we already have a positive x. Then this side we have a positive 3, which is equal to 0. So x squared, negative 5x plus x will give us negative 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now if you look at this one, we need to actually factorize that. You can factorize using the factors, product, sum, and factors. So remember the coefficient, you need to identify your a in this quadratic function, which is 1, the number in front of x squared, which is 1, the number in front of just x is negative 4, and your c is 3. So the product there, 1 times 3 will give me 3. The sum you take b, which is negative 4. So what are two factors? When you multiply, they'll give you a positive 3. When you add the sum, they'll simply give you negative 4. You can simply talk about negative 1 and a 4 there. Alright, so right away, if I get the factors, if the coefficient of the one having a square is 1, you can just take this and say x minus 1, and you can also take the other factor x plus 4, which is equal to 0. But of course, I don't want to rush directly to get this answer. I want to show you how to come about that. So you can get, in this case, x squared. Then you substitute the middle term with these factors, but write them in terms of x. So negative 1 will just be negative x, 4 will become a positive 4x. Then you are going to return the positive 3 is equal to 0. Remember what we do? We can group and we can actually factorize. So what is common in this bracket? X is actually common. When I divide x, there will remain with x minus 1. Here, what is common? A positive. I'll simply say, that is simply going to be just right. Sorry, the factors there is actually, sorry for that, I think we rushed too much. The factors there is simply negative 3 and negative negative 1 and negative 3. So this one was supposed to be also minus minus 3. So okay, so these are the correct factors. Sorry for that, I think I rushed myself. So what we are going to do is that If you don't want, you can just get these factors and say x minus 1 then x minus 3. That's the way you can do it, like I said, but let me use the layman's way. So you get this one, x squared, then you replace by the factors that we have found, which is simply a minus 1. Negative 1 will become negative x, negative 3 will become a negative 3x, and that is going to be plus 3 is equal to 0. Then you can group and actually factorize. What is common there? X is common. If I divide x there, I remain with x minus 1 there. Negative and 3 is common. If I divide negative 3, I remain with x minus 1, which is equal to 0. Remember, what you remove outside, you start dividing. So negative will cancel. Positive and negative is negative. Now what you notice is that what is in the bracket is the same, so you can group it, so it will be x minus 1, and put out what is outside the bracket, which is x minus 3 is equal to 0. If you remember, that's what we got from the previous one. So let's equate each bracket to 0 so that we can solve for x. So it will be x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. When this one crosses the equal sign, to become a positive 1, or our x, when the negative 3 crosses the equal sign, to become a positive 3. So these are the values of x that you're having. Now to get the values of y, what you do, you are going to replace these into that equation 3 there. So I'm going to say, using equation 3, y is equal to 5 minus what? X. So what I can simply say, I can say, okay, fine, when x is equal to, I'll start with this one, is equal to 1. What will my y give me? So we replace in this one. So it will be y is equal to 5 minus, where there's x, we replace with 1. So it will be y is equal to 4. So meaning the coordinate at that point, when x is 1, y is equal to 4. I'm also going to do the same. I'm going to say when x is equal to positive 3, what will my y give me? I don't know. So using that equation 3, we are going to say y is equal to, remember it says 5 minus x, so it will be y is equal to 5 minus 3, meaning that y is equal to 2, meaning that when x is actually 3, the value of y is simply a 2. So the solutions that we are having there, if you look at our solutions that we are having here, it is 1, 4 and 3, 2. So what does that tell you? What is the geometrical meaning of that? It simply means that that straight line, cuts the curve at 2 points. No wonder we are having these two. So these two solutions there. So that's the idea. So because of these two solutions, it shows that it cuts it at 2 points. Thank you so much for watching. Watch out.